Hi everyone, thank you very much for coming back to my channel. Ainat Kessler here with a new video tutorial. And today I am continuing with my daisy journal. So I'm going to decorate some pages. This is what we did last time in our first signature. I'm going to link the last video so you can go ahead and make the signatures in what we have started if you didn't make it. So this is the envelope with the belly band before we had the vellum pocket, and we have some more pages to complete. So like I said, we're going to work on the first signature, and I'm using what we did in one of our paper perks. I think it was, can't remember which number it was. It was one of the previous paper perks, maybe number 17. We did a hidden pocket with the daisy full page printable that you got. So I still have that, and I'm going to use it in the journal, in the daisy journal. So like I said last time, I am using the daisy papers and the daisy ephemera kit. I'm going to link everything so you can go ahead and grab that and download it and make the journal. I'm going to give you some junk journal page ideas so you can make them in any journal that you want, not necessarily in the daisy journal. So the first page I want to make is with half of the hidden pocket page. I cut it maybe less than half or a little bit more, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to make another pocket, so I'm just adding a little bit of dyed cheesecloth and one of the daisies from the ephemera kit that I cut, and now I'm going to apply glue on the sides and the bottom, so I'll have a hidden pocket and another pocket on the top. So this way we have a pocket on the top and in here as well. This is a very basic journal with basic techniques and basic ideas for the pages. So if you haven't done a junk journal yet, I wanted to make a journal from start to finish to show you how you can create different designs, different ideas, use different techniques, all very basic, very simple, very easy to do. So this will be a first project, a great first project to make. So I took a little bit of twine and tied it up just to add something extra for our paper here. This is just coffee dyed paper that matches the entire look. So we're going to do the next page with this was the same page, but just a regular print without, I didn't do anything to it, just had another print of that Paper Perk. I will link that too. I can't remember the number, but you will see in the description under the video, I will link that. So you'll be able to grab it if you haven't grabbed it yet. So I'm going to take the other part of the page and just cut it into two pieces. They don't even have to be the same size. And I'm going to create pockets. So I'm going to align my sides of the paper with 1/2 inch and then score it on 3 sides. So this is how you make a pocket. The technique is the same. What will change every time you make a pocket is the size of the paper. That is all. You can make smaller pockets, larger pockets. Just ink 3 sides at 1/2 inch and then fold them like this. And then I'm going to show you how to cut them so they will be able to be attached to the page. I'm just inking all the edges so it will be easier for you to see. And then I'm just cutting diagonally, cutting the corner diagonally like this. And then when I fold it, I have a pocket. All those little 3 flaps, this is where we're going to add the glue and attach it to the page. So I'm going to attach 2 pockets like this, 2 small pockets. Just apply glue to the back of those flaps and attach them. It's really simple, and then you can play with any size of pocket that you want in your journal. And then just add it 1 pocket, 2 pocket, 3 pockets, depending on the size of your page. So this is a really cool way to make pockets. You also have pockets on the ephemera kit. We're going to use those later. So I've just cut out a few things I want to add. There's the tag, there's the oopsie daisy words, and some daisies. And when I make a junk journal or any journal, I like to add some ribbons, some cheesecloth, some lace. So I have this string, lace, ribbon, you call it whatever you want. It just added a little bit of color and texture to the pockets. Like I said, design is very basic, very simple, great for beginners. Can just decorate any junk journal page that you are doing. Really love this. So this is another coffee dyed paper that I'm going to create an insert. And when you create a junk journal, you decide what the inserts are going to be. You can have them for journaling. You can have them for little photos. You can combine the photos and the journaling, so then it becomes sort of a little junk journal scrapbook. You can decide whatever you want to add on those. So maybe you've noticed that I'm inking the edges of almost everything. I like to do that. Of course, this is up to you if you want to ink everything. And I think it adds a nice look. It makes everything tied up together, combined, and it gives everything a nice definition and frame. All the elements have that finish, that finished look. So I really like that. Let's see what else I can use. I also want to use, remember we did all the hidden, or not hidden, all the daisy paper clips. I'm gonna also link that video so you can go ahead and make those if you haven't. And this will be great to add to the daisy journal because obviously it's from the same kit. So I cut another half of my daisy paper, inking the edges, and these are going to be like tuck-ins under the clip, like this. And another page is done. Now you can leave the other side of the paper clip visible, or you can cover it. It's completely up to you. I am going to cover that, but I'm not going to glue it to the page in case I want to remove the clip and add another clip or something else. So I'm going to add that little text tag in a way that it won't interfere with that. So first I want to add just a little bit of ribbon, a piece of ribbon, and some cheesecloth. I really like the look of cheesecloth on my pages. I ruffle them up, I dye them, so this way they look ruffled and used and vintagey, like this. So I'm just going to layer this and add them, which is going to be on the bottom. I think let's move those pages. And I use tacky glue because tacky glue is a really good glue. I don't get any percentage from that. It just strong glue, it dries clear, and I really like using that. Again, I'm going to link it if you want to get it. And it also attaches fabric and ribbons very well, so I don't even bother changing my glue to fabric tack or other fabric glue. So I'm going to apply glue only on the sides and the bottom and leave the middle without any glue. So if I want to remove that paper clip, it is not glued to anything, so I can take that out, add something different if I want. So this is the other half of the paper that I've left, and I'm going to create a really cool pocket. Remember, I told you always score it 1/2 inch on the bottom and the two sides, and then you have a pocket. It doesn't matter the size of your page, but this is going to be a combined pocket with vellum. I really like this look. So this is going to be really cool. Let's cut diagonally first. Now I want to remove some of the paper in the middle. So I'm going to measure. I'm just going to ink the folds so you will see how I do the measuring. It will be easier because it's white and a little difficult to see. So I measure the width between the two inner fold lines, which is 4 inches, and I mark on the 1 inch and 3 inches. So that's 1 inch from each fold line, and then I draw a line with a pencil, and I do that on the part that is not printed, obviously. And then I do the exact same thing from the bottom, measuring 1 inch from the bottom fold line, and then draw another line. So we're going to remove this part where the X is. That's the center of the card. What we do is we create a window in the pocket, and I'm going to cover this window with a piece of tracing paper or vellum, and that will give me a semi-transparent pocket which will look really cool. Apply glue around the window on the back side, of course, and then attach your vellum or tracing paper piece. So basically you can have a paper pocket, a vellum pocket, and then you can have a combination, which I really like. You'll see it looks really pretty. So part of the pocket is transparent and part of it is not. So let's play with that. I'm going to add these papers in the background, these flowers in the background, and a few flowers on the top of the pocket, and that will play with the transparency. Forgot to ink the edges of the pieces, the piece that we cut from the paper, but that's fine. And then we're going to insert another quote tag that is part of the kit. So I'm going to attach that. The pocket is not attached yet. I'm just going to use it as a guide. And then now I can attach it after the flowers are glued to the page. So you see some of the flowers are under the vellum and some of them are not, and I think it's a really cool look. Let's add our flowers, our daisies. I think this is one of my favorite pages yet. Isn't that cool? Now we insert this, and then you see some of the writing, but you see that something is there, but you can't really read it, so you have to take it out. I really like this. This is really cool. So this is the other half of the hidden pocket page. Remember, I used the first half already. I'm going to just cut around the daisies and then attach it. So you can hardly see there's a pocket there, right? So we're going to attach it and create another pocket. So glue on the bottom and the sides. So now we have two pockets. And then on the bottom, I want to add a little bit of twine like this. You don't have to make lots of very complicated embellishments or decoration. Just adding a few details to your page really ties up all the design and completes it. First of all, the pages are already have daisies on them, so they're, let's say, half embellished, and you just add a few details, a pocket, a flap, or something like that, a quote, a little bit of lace or cheesecloth, and then you're done. Like I said, very basic journal, so even people who just starting out with junk journaling can create this. So I just took some pieces of coffee dyed paper, and this is one of the background papers from the paper collection, and I'm going to create a little booklet. No, I'm not going to create a booklet. I'm just going to add two squares to those little inserts. Instead of creating a booklet, I don't want a booklet at this point. And that just little orange square adds so much color to the page and really makes it pop. I just eyeballed the size of the squares. You can measure if you want. So you have one pocket is here, it's the hidden pocket, then this is the second pocket. So look at that. I really like this page. I can't even figure out which one is my favorite, and we still have two signatures to do. So let's add another pocket. This pocket is going to go lengthwise, so it's going to be a side pocket, not a top loading pocket. So this one is, I'm just going to tear it. Tearing is another way to add a really vintagey junk journal-y look to paper, and it gives another way of adding texture to a page without adding anything but paper. So just that one action of tearing the paper really changes the way it looks and adds so much texture, movement, and look to your page. So this is going to be a pocket, so I'm only applying glue to the bottom and the sides, making sure it's aligned with the center. And you see that this orange complements the orange on the next page with the inserts. Just adding 3 little daisy, these daisy cluster. Again, this is in the ephemera kit. And for an insert, I'm going to make a booklet. This is where I wanted the booklet. So the booklet is basically a few pieces of paper, each folded in half, and then I'm just going to staple them together. So I'm using coffee dyed paper and some vellum. So the booklet is going to be interesting and not just paper. Just making sure that all the sides are straight. And they are. So I'm going to fold this, and the papers are going to be different sizes. I don't care. They don't have to match. And I'm going to staple them. So you might ask, how does the stapler reach that far in? So my way of doing that, you can sew it or glue it or sew it with a sewing machine, but what I do is I simply use two staples. I open them up and then I use them as one. See, it's really cool. Just align the bottom and the top staples and staple them together. Works every time. So I'm going to tear the front so the look will be the same as the pocket edge. So the edges are going to, the design element is going to be the same. And then I'm going to ink all the edges, add a little paper clip. Again, this is from all the paper clips that we did, and this is going to be my insert. Also added a little twine ribbon to that paper clip. I actually like the booklet, but not as an insert on this pocket. I'm just going to make another insert and keep the booklet for another pocket. So this is another paper clip that we made. This is the envelope paper clip, which is really cool because you have a paper clip and then an envelope that you can add more things to it. Just insert it, added it to a piece of coffee dyed paper, and then added another tag from the kit. Look at how this signature got thick. This is why we always do the cover last, because we never know how our signatures are going to, how thick they're going to get. And the cover of the junk journal should always match the thickness of the journal. So this is one of the pockets from the kit. I'm just already has those flaps. So you're going to score along the lines of the flaps and then fold them. And I'm going to create a special pocket for the booklet that I made. Ink all the edges and then add my pocket. So I think basically this is the first signature that is done, is completed. All the decorations and the embellishments and the add-ons to each of the pages. I think all the pages are done. This is the booklet. Now it looks pretty good. Just want to add something extra, the top of the page with the little dyed cheesecloth. Now why do I do that? The page has a lot going on the bottom, and I feel that it is not properly balanced. So I just want to add a little bit of decoration on the top to balance both sides of the page. So I'm layering two pieces of cheesecloth. This is the yellow and then the green with one of the daisies on top of that. And I think that will give me a nice balance for the page. So what I'm going to do next is add a little bit of bling, a little bit of sparkle to my journal pages, because this one, see the paper clip that I used on the booklet has a little bit of glitter, so I'm just going to go and add that to some of the pages and then wait for them to dry. And in the next video we're going to continue with the pages, and I'm going to show you some more junk journal page ideas and how to decorate them. So I'm going to link all the info in the description under the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video, so you won't miss anything and you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects. All the Daisy Journal videos are going to have their own playlist, so it will be easier to find. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.